Bulgaria often ranks as the poorest nation in the EU. But is that reflected in their infrastructure and their way of life? I wouldn't say so. And today I will give you 5 reasons as to why that's the case, and additionally go over why Sofia may actually be a good place for you to create a business, to create other institutions that may be interesting. Now, I won't get too deep into business creation, as I think that's a topic that could be expanded upon for a long time. And in Bulgaria, it's not exactly as simple as it is in the United States or elsewhere, as there is still state capture in business, and there is still a mafia presence in business, which, while the Bulgarian mafia has kind of turned a leaf, and instead of racket money, they're getting state funds. But, of course, it is much better than it was a few years ago, and I continue to see a lot of improvements on the ground, even as far as I've been here. And I've only been here about a day, but I can see consistent construction, consistent improvements in what is the quality of life in Bulgaria. And so, the first thing I'd like to go over is the roads really aren't that much worse than a place like Paris or Rome. These places are actually, I'd argue, worse in road quality than Bulgaria. And while, of course, it is not the best roads I've seen in Europe, I'd argue that even Georgia has better roads, which I'll show you the roads in Georgia very soon. They are still sufficient, and they do still function, which is better than I can say about a lot of roads in Rome or Paris, which of course does indeed entail that there is development going on. Additionally, the second point I wanted to bring up, housing is relatively easy to access and relatively affordable. And while this may seem like it's something that would happen in a poor country, not inherently, because I'm speaking on a Bulgarian salary, not a Western salary, not, oh, if you're from Germany, you can come and buy a house. Bulgarians find it easy to buy housing, as it is one of the least bought up in real terms of anywhere in Europe. So, in essence, there is cheap housing. And if you go to the villages, you can find a house still at 5,000 euro. Granted, it is something that you're not going to get, obviously, a house that is able to be lived in at 5,000 euro, but even a frame at 5,000 euro is insane. It's insane value for money. It's insane that you can even get a piece of land for 5,000 euro. And I'm planning on going to a village here soon, near Sofia, maybe 2 hours out, that a Bulgarian local told me about, which I'll put a video down in the description if I make one. However, it's showing that Bulgaria is very unique in that aspect, that locals can afford housing, and it's a good thing. It's a very good thing. That said, number 3 is the fact that the train system is actually fairly nice. Now, payment infrastructure in Bulgaria. Honestly speaking, if you're looking to create a company here, you're looking to bank here, the payment infrastructure is fairly poor. And of course, there is Swift access. There's some tie-ins to major card distributors. But, I try and pay with my Discover card or my Amex. It's not typically going to go through, which is okay. But it does show that that is one of the things that could be improved upon. Number 4 is the fact that people don't feel poor. And I say this as course, an anecdote, and I say this, of course, as I've talked with only a few Bulgarians since coming here. However, I don't feel that people feel they're poor, and I don't feel that people really want to leave Bulgaria. I was talking with a student in Bulgaria, in Sofia, when I came in via Vidin on the train, and from Vidin to Sofia, I forgot to get cash out the ATM. He's like, "Oh, you don't have cash? Okay, I'll pay for you." And of course, this is Bulgarian hospitality at its finest. But I got to talking to him, and I'm like, does Bulgaria feel like it's lacking development? Do you want to leave Bulgaria? It's like, no, it's fine. I'm gonna stay here in Bulgaria, and I'm happy to stay here in Bulgaria. And additionally, there was a girl, maybe in her 60s, that was talking with me about how a lot of Bulgarians chased money initially, but they're all coming back. They're all realizing that Bulgaria is a peaceful country that doesn't want problems, and I see that day to day. And of course, the final thing, the fifth and the final thing, is that realistically, there's a lot of parks here that are very outfitted with realistically very new equipment. And while that's something that, of course, is not even seen in Western Europe or Eastern Europe, it shows that people value health here, and a healthy society typically entails that it is a wealthy society. And while that's not true of all societies, and especially not looking at, Georgia, where there are older Soviet era outfits for gyms, outdoor gyms, of course. I think that realistically times have changed, and it shows development if you are looking out for your health. Now, of course, this has been me being on the ground about 48 hours. So as I learn more and I understand more, I think it's going to be inherently easier for me to explain things as time goes on. Of course, this is very beneficial for global business, as if infrastructure is positive and infrastructure is being invested into, of course, you can tie that into your global business. And additionally, you won't have the issues that you would in other countries. That said, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like it. If you really enjoyed this video, feel free to share it with your friends. If you want to join me on my journey of teaching you about global business, international finance, and how you can globalize your lifestyle, feel free to click that subscribe button down below. And of course, if you're looking for consulting one-on-one, absolutely free for 15 minutes, feel free to reach out. There's a link down below for Calendly. I would be happy to help you. That said, stay happy, stay healthy. This has been the Traveling Report. Signing off.